Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Florida Podman.
Okay, that was the intro to that bit. Are we back? Welcome back to episode 2. This is episode 2. Look, I don't know if you can see this. I've put the wheel in, the famous wheel that semi-inspired the last season. Well, no, it didn't inspire the last season. That's what chose the last season. So it's there.
That was the star of the show. It's been replaced by Steve this time around.
Steve is the star of the show. I just broke it again. It's not been in use much, that's for sure. And this, inside that box there, you know what's in there. I'll keep that under wraps.
I know it's in there.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the money maker. That's our retirement. We're going to retire to Florida just based on that
That's
box.
the secret weapon. Anyway.
So we're back. And when I say we're back, we didn't go anywhere. We've literally just stopped recording because this turned into a longer thing than we thought. So we're going to split this up to 2 episodes. So episode 2, which is now, we're starting on the round of 16.
Yeah.
So we've gone through our 32 headlines. 16 winners so far. So we had 16 death matches. And the ones that are still alive now go head-to-head against each other.
Yeah.
We're going to whittle this down. So we'll get through this and ultimately come to our ultimate Florida Man headline.
Yeah. Now the other thing to good. The other thing to mention is we had a bunch of leftover.
Remention should be a word.
It's the word.
I've never heard that before, but it makes sense. Remention.
We've got a load of unused headlines here. They will be recycled. Right? Okay. They're not just being left into the wind. So if any of those ones took your fancy. In episode 1 that didn't make it through, the 16 that didn't make it through, or even the ones that won't make it any further today as well, tune back in for the next season because they may regurgitate. We might re-mention them.
God, that's beautiful. Let's just rip into it. Let's do the same thing. So Steve's going to pick numbers. Loyal. Steve should need his own. Should get him his own Twitter feed. We didn't mention ours at Florida Podmen, at Florida Pod Steve.
He's good, and he's the admin. So
he's probably gonna. You probably have more followers.
If you have any complaints, they should really go through Steve.
Steve's in charge. We're just the high priced talent. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's read some headlines. They're here for headlines.
Let's go.
You ready?
Am I doing 2 and am I doing 1 or am I doing 2?
You do 1.
As last time.
Steve's going to say it just like before. It worked last time. I think if we change it up, I might get confused.
Okay.
Let's just go. All right, Steve, hit it.
13. Unlucky for some, but not for me. Florida man accused of beating cellmate who asked for a courtesy flush to help with the smell. Now, I had many questions about this last time, so that's already very strong.
I wonder if there's going to be some strategy. I wonder if you're going to start voting for ones that you just really want to go through the story.
My cadence.
Knowing that you could just Google this at any time. All right, my turn.
3.
So courtesy flush versus Florida man slashes 2 people with ninja sword after fight about socks, police say. This is getting difficult already.
They're very similar as well. You know, there's violence involved about a particular thing. Oh God, I think I might be conceding on the courtesy flush. I might have to go with ninja sword.
I'm going 3.
You're going with 3. I'll go with 3. I just noticed your.
Let's make the decision.
What a 3 it is. Oh, what a shame for the courtesy flush. That should be the aim of the episode.
He might be back in it. What a shame for the courtesy flush. I'm going to do that as a poster on my bathroom wall. Next up.
What is a courtesy flush?
I love that.
Oh, God. Florida man accused of firing pea-filled squirt gun at woman or vampire, whichever way you want to take episode 1.
So are we gonna? Should I just type vampire in just to make it vampire? Because if it's not, I don't know. I don't like the chances of this one.
It wins. If she is a vampire, it wins. But it doesn't say vampire, does it? It says woman. 5.
Steve has spoken. Florida man once arrested for fighting drag queen with tiki torch runs for mayor. Now, this is the levels one that I really liked. I got to go for that one. I don't know. I like the levels. Again,
I sort of don't want to.
Vampire, it's iffy. I mean, woman, I don't think has enough legs.
There's a big assumption.
Women have legs.
There's a big assumption that it is a vampire, and bearing in mind that we've leapt at that assumption. I think I'll have to go with the drag queen with the tiki torch. I like that bit. That's my favorite bit.
Yeah.
Did he fight?
Perfect.
Now, did he fight a drag queen who had a tiki torch, or did he fight the drag queen that was holding?
Did the drag queen have a tiki torch and this man fought,
yes.
Or did they have like
because
a lightsaber battle?
With the word "with" isn't telling me who had the tiki torch.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. So
maybe if this makes it through, we'll find out more.
So it's a winner, right? Okay. Next.
Yeah. All right. Next up. 14. And sorry, I just bumped my camera.
This is Michael Schofield, Florida inmate. I've just realised that says inmate.
I've noticed there's all sorts of spelling mistakes in these in the first round. I didn't want to say too much, but I mean, I copied and pasted mine from the internet, so I'm wondering if some journalist needs spell check. I don't know.
That feels like where the space. Oh no, it wouldn't. Inmate's one word. Anyway, right. Let's start again. Right, Florida inmate got Chinese takeout, sat in guard station in exchange for tax advice. Investigation finds. There's something about what investigation was happening to discover that.
Investigation finds is the episode 2 version of Police Say. You know, it's that.
Yeah. Okay, what's it up against?
It's up against number 8. Number 8 is Florida man in human-powered inflatable bubble trying to run from Florida to Bermuda is rescued by Coast Guard.
Okay, but I think they're very similar in.
You know, again, I see similarities with this. They are very similar.
Yeah, in things that are happening and we find out after the fact.
There's a lot going on.
Okay,
let's run through some criteria here. Which is the most Florida man? Like pure Florida man.
Well,
if we're looking at Florida man headlines,
the least Florida man is the guy who's giving tax advice.
He's a little too with it. He's a little too smart.
The most Florida man is the guy who thinks how better way to get to Bermuda than in an inflatable bubble.
Okay, so initially points to that one. Now, which one makes you want to read more of the story?
I think that's exactly the same. So it has to go on the.
So Bubble Man.
So it has to go on the strength of
Bubble Boy.
Yeah, you have to go on Bubble Boy.
Bubble Boy wins. That's a great episode of Seinfeld, the Bubble Boy episode.
Do you know what? There was a Seinfeld story that I later found out wasn't. It was just a made up thing, which was Florida man still watching the final episode of Seinfeld. Right, and it isn't. It was like a fake story. It was almost like here's something that a Florida man is capable for, and would be the sort of headline you would find is that Florida man still watching. But I wanted it to be true. I wanted this guy to be watching it for the 10,000th time. The final episode.
Just on a loop.
Anyway, okay, what have you got then?
Okay, Bubble Boy wins.
Yeah.
Number 1. Try that again. There we go. Oh, here he is. Man. Florida metal musician turns Uncle Skeleton into Skelecaster guitar.
What's it up against?
I don't know. You said it's my turn. That should have been your turn. We just screwed this up.
Do you want to just edit that bit out? I didn't mean to say.
Nope. We flipped. Now I'm going first. Now it's your turn.
I did say
your turn.
Do you know what? When I said
you did say
it's your turn, I actually meant to say it's Steve's thing, but I said your turn. I know I said it. I did.
I can't believe that Steve's only been on this podcast for about 45 minutes, and we're already level pegging me and Steve. Come on, I've been demoted.
Right. Okay. Right. Go on. Give us one to go.
Okay.
Give us one to read out. That's a strong one.
All right.
That's a strong one.
bunch of
And in
professionals.
episode 1, that was... What does he say?
2.
In episode...
See, I can do Steve's job. Steve can't do my job. I can do Steve's job.
In episode 1, Skellycaster was up against a very similar story. It was the Rock School one. So let's see if it's up against something similar.
School of Rock. Yep. Very close. Something inside.
Okay. Florida man's Roomba runs over dog poo, spreading it throughout the house. Ooh, gosh.
That's a toughie.
Yeah, I think I want to know more about how the uncle skeleton was later reused. I think I want to know a bit more about that.
Yeah, I wasn't. In round 1, the Roomba one, I wasn't sold on it. I mean, I like the headline. I think I picked that one actually.
No, it's good.
For the list, but it's to me, it's just a little too straightforward. So, I think Scalecaster, Florida man, inventiveness, craziness.
Yeah,
I like it.
We're very unlikely to see a story like that again.
No.
Using a skeleton.
No. Okay, so yeah. Next round. So am I going to go first, or are you going to go first?
I'll go first, so we don't confuse matters.
Jeez, I can't keep up with this stuff. Okay, here we go.
7.
Number 7. Your friend.
Florida man insists syringes pulled from rectum aren't his. Okay, what's he going up against? I've got no.
I like the stress on the word insists.
Yeah, I felt like he must have
hands on hips. Hands on hips.
He must have said it a few.
They're probably on his hips anyways while they're inspecting, I suppose.
He must have had to say it a few times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, up against
8.
Number 8. What?
Now,
I don't know how that's happened. Edit this part out. I'm going to go again. This is weird. Steve let us down.
1.
Steve's had it.
Time out. Steve's messed up, everybody. Steve's messed up. We don't know what's happened with the number generator. He's starting to repeat himself. He's
Why don't we just get him to repeat ones, and the next one that comes up that hasn't been chosen, we'll just select. So the very next one that he says that hasn't been chosen, we'll just keep going like that.
You wanted to replace me with this guy. Friggin' useless.
I think this will work. Just get him to go through his numbers, and if it's not been used.
We can always edit out the duplicates if we want to, or leave them in if it's I don't even know what's funny anymore. Here we go.
5.
Nope.
11.
Okay, 11. Over to...
This is you.
You?
No, this is you. I did the insist syringes.
Oh, that's right. Here we go. Number 11. Florida man accused of killing roommate asks Siri where to hide the body.
Right. Thank God we don't have to go through the syringes one. It's the Siri murder case one, surely.
You didn't like that syringe one. That's really strange.
I just don't know. I can't bear the thought of needles inside an arse. Mind you, it doesn't say the hypodermic needle.
Oh yeah,
side of
killing a
things.
roommate and burying them is absolutely fine though. Come on. Okay, you know what? Just for you only, just as a favor to you, my soon-to-be former co-host wants to get sacked and replaced by a fucking guy that can't even count to 16 without repeating a number. Win. I'm really pissed off with Steve. Okay, next up. Your turn.
Okay.
9.
Number 9.
Hey, we're back on track, Steve. Okay. Florida man charged with disorderly intoxication after allegedly shoveling spaghetti into his face and threatening employees. Now I wonder, what did he say, Steve?
9. I bumped my phone and he just repeated it.
So I wonder if, because
he's an asshole.
Somewhere in there is also the other the Olive Garden story, right? And that
yes.
Now when we
belligerent, that was belligerent eating. Right?
When we go on our Florida road trip, I would like to visit that actual Olive Garden. I mean, in my head, it's the one
And belligerently
on
eat.
International Drive or wherever it's called. Right, let's go. What's number 2? Or number
14. 8.
no?
2.
No?
10.
Yes, 10.
Hey.
Here we go.
Hey, you called it.
Unbelievable.
Florida man arrested outside Olive Garden for belligerent eating of pasta.
Now then.
We've got shoveling versus belligerent.
Well, I know which I'm going for. I don't even. It's these two are the right ones to go up against each other.
Are they the same story? They could very well be the
Yeah,
same
but
story. So the Olive Garden one doesn't mention intoxication, but he was shoveling. To me, shoveling spaghetti is belligerent eating of pasta.
Well, I had to look up what belligerent actually meant, and it was like it was warlike. It's warlike, so that's how I see it. Now,
you could if you shovel. I mean,
I don't think
I don't
that
know.
anybody who's writing this that uses the word belligerent would ever sell that story to another news outlet and let them change it to another word. It would just never. It was belligerent's in there. It's in the ether. It's used. That is the word that sticks, and that is the word for me. They're so close. It might turn out that they're the same story, but I think for that, if it is the same story, which is the best written, it's belligerent. But you decide.
Only because the other one has threatening employees. It's got a bit of violence in there. You know, I don't know. Let's stay away from the violence. And Olive Garden, it's a proper place. I think we can map this.
Oh
one
yeah, we can map it.
for
Yeah,
a
that's a
road
good
trip,
point.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with that. Life's too short. All right, Steve, you got 4 left. Let's see how many clicks do you think it's going to take to get to a correct
What have we
number?
got? We've
Chris,
got
just take a guess.
4, 6.
We got 4.
Let's see-
How many times do I have to have Steve say it?
What do you think? What for the next one? 2. I think he'll get it in 2.
Till he actually gets it right.
I think he'll get it in 2.
Here we go. I'm going 5. Actually, we've read it all a bunch out, so it's probably less than that.
12.
Nope.
7.
No.
Nope.
Close.
6.
Yes.
There he is. 3 is the answer. All right, over to you.
Florida man jumps into canal to avoid arrest, gets arrested on other side of canal. I really like that. It feels so right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's like he thinks he got away with it. You know, he just thinks he got away, emerges victorious, and then the cops are just
That's
standing there
right,
shaking
yeah.
their heads. All right, this is going against
15.
number 15. First time Steve. He's
First
back,
time
kids.
Steve, that's his nickname.
DUI driver with fake urine says it's for role play with spouse.
Dear.
Both involve water.
Oh, it's a shame.
I think the canal. To me, the canal's got it. The canal is.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I can see that. I can visualize that happening.
Yeah. The other one, it's a shame to lose that one from the tournament, but I think it does on this occasion. But it's one that we surely have to return to.
Everybody's going to lose except for one story. All right, we got 2 left. We got 4 and 16, and because Steve's going to be just around doing this forever, Steve gets the rest of this round off. So pick a number, 4 or 16. Go for it.
I'll have
What do you want?
16.
You can be Steve.
I'll have 16.
16. There it is. All right, 16. There you are.
Okay. Autopsy reveals Florida man who died after winning cockroach eating contest, choked to death, and didn't have an allergic reaction. This is marvelous. This is wonderful.
A lot going on there. It's going to be a hard one to beat. Let's see what we've got. I'm just trying to guess, what's it going to be? But I can't remember them all.
you
I'm
can't
not that good
remember.
at memory. Florida man robbed bank, stole a car, tries to swim away from police, cries when he gets caught in a current, and threatens rescuing officer. I didn't read that one. Very well, but you get what I'm saying. Florida man robbed bank, stole a car, tries to swim away from police, cries when he gets caught in a current, and threatens rescuing officer.
It's the amount of emotion that's running through this guy that's making me. The other one is that, he's died, and then they've done this autopsy, and they've gone, oh, hang on a minute. It wasn't allergic reaction to cockroach. It was the fact that he just had too many. Whereas this one is it's like an episode of 24. This is
See,
Jack Bauer's
I
day.
feel like the cockroach one is an attention grabbing headline,
Yes.
but there was a bunch of other people eating the cockroaches too. So he's not this Florida man is not unique in his stupidity
That's right.
or poor guy, rest his soul. I think the robbing the bank and crying to me is again it's just more pure Florida man.
Correct.
It fits the
Correct. You're right.
brief.
It's the he's
It surprised me.
Yeah.
It surprised me because I thought that cockroach one was going to be strong.
It went up against the wrong one.
That is the end of round 2.
Round 2. Okay, so now we're down to 8.
That's it. We got 8 left.
This is the quarterfinals. 8, 4, 2,
All right.
1.
So all we're doing, we are just taking the 8 losers from that round. Sorry, losers out. And
strong.
we're going to reshuffle.
Reshuffle. Diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle.
And we're going to
Shuffling
go
my
again.
eyes, so I can't remember where they were.
Where do you go when you want to buy name brand spatulas at a fraction of retail cost?
Spatula City! Spatula City!
Al Pacino's booty sweat, popping ass open.
What's my name? Dunkachino! Dunkachino!
Fruity OT bars. Fruity OT bars.
Pick up your phone and call the professionals. Go Ghostbusters!
Jeff Portnoy and Jeff Portnoy are the Fatties, Part 2.
America's favorite game show.
And that's who I care about.
We're back for the second half of. So this is episode 2.2. Because we.
Yeah, this is after the commercial break. Okay, so I've reset Steve completely, so he should be sorted out now.
And he's only reading out 8. Like his.
Yeah, so he's 1 to 8.
Okay.
You can see that or not. All right, so here we are. So we're going to have 4 head-to-heads here. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay, here we go.
You going first?
Yeah,
Here
we
go.
might
Let's
as
just
well.
rip into it.
Let's go, Steve.
Nervous for some reason. It's getting exciting. Number 2.
Strong one. Florida man arrested outside Olive Garden for belligerent eating of pasta. I'm getting more confident reading that out. I think it's just perfect. It's the perfect, almost the perfect headline. What's it up against?
Versus. 6. This is a long one. I can
Oh
tell.
yes, it's the
double liner.
commas. It's the
I know.
commas.
It's the commas. It's the commas. Florida man robbed bank, stole a car, tries to swim away from police, cries when he gets caught in a current, and threatens rescuing officer.
Kevin,
Nobody told me this would be so difficult.
No.
I'm a little torn here.
you know, last round you said they're all getting knocked out apart from one. At some point, a strong one has to go. It might be that the formula of the amount of commas is seeing through right now.
I guess it depends on the theory of how we're doing. Like, if we want, it's the ultimate goal of this, and I think it is the best Florida man headline.
What do you think?
That one kind of.
What's making you? Where's your choice as this then?
The robbing the bank. I just feel like the length of it, the just snowball effect of stupidity and weird things happening. Like, to me, that's the ineptitude of Florida man. This one
agree.
feels to me like pure Florida man.
Because what we've got here is he robbed the bank, didn't think about a getaway car, so he had to steal one. When he somehow gets...
We don't even know how he got out of the car and
into the water.
Like, that's not even mentioned in here.
But the police are on his tail. Okay, they've not caught him yet at this point, but they do in the waves. Right?
But he's crying because he's caught in the waves.
He's got to win.
Rescues him.
That's gonna
and
go.
Then he threatens the cop.
Yeah,
Rescue.
that's got to go
Come
through.
on.
Okay. I will. I look forward to visiting that Olive Garden and paying my respects to that amazing headline. But that's as far as
I tell you what, the stealing the car and swimming away, like in round 1, it was okay, but I didn't think that this one was going to go as far as it did.
It's growing though,
Surprising.
isn't it? The more it is out there, the better it gets.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, next up. So second heat of this round. 3. So far, Steve hasn't messed up in this round.
This is third. Florida man in human-powered inflatable bubble trying to run from Florida to Bermuda is rescued by Coast Guard. Now, I've spotted something here that I hadn't considered previously. His his idea is, I'm going to run. What's the best way to run? There's no path to along the sea. I can run in the big hamster ball. So this is an element of Guinness World Records, perhaps. Now,
Maybe he's not trying to walk; he's running.
no, I'm wondering.
So there's a time element.
I'm
to this.
wondering if there is a record that he's trying to break. That is part of. He's set the record for running, and imagine if he gets almost there, and then now there is an element of sitcom in this, and not just from the Bubble Boy perspective. But anyway, okay. So I've seen something there that I never spotted earlier. Maybe I need to bear that in mind when the next one's selected.
Okay, let's see. Number 7. Florida man slashes 2 people with ninja sword after fight about socks, police say.
What is the key about these socks? The socks are important.
If the about socks wasn't in there, this would. I don't even think this would make round 1.
Well, I don't think I need to know any more about the motivation behind why Bubble Boy wanted to go. I think the fact is that he just decided he was going to do it. But I need to know more about these socks. So as much as I wanted to analyse Bubble Boy, I think I need to work on or understand more about these socks.
I agree. And you know what's interesting about this is that Bubble Boy headline, like, we're just saying, it's not good enough. Like, under normal circumstances, could you imagine if you just saw that on your local news or in the newspaper, you'd be like, what the flip's going on here? Like, this is the richness of our friend Florida Man.
That's right.
He's a generous man.
2 winners to select. 2 winners gone. 2 winners to select. So 2 rounds to play. Who's the next?
Over to you. Number 8.
Great job, Steve. Right.
It's in fine voice.
Florida metal musician turns Uncle Skeleton into Skelecaster guitar. Strong.
That's strong. Here we go.
4.
Florida man jumps into canal to avoid arrest, gets arrested on other side of canal. I just love the palindrome side of that because it's almost like the words just...
Yeah.
See, the Skelecaster to me, and I initially selected this one. You know, I think we keep coming back to, like, there's motivation for it, but you can probably figure out why. I think I don't need to know a lot more about the guitar guy. I mean, I probably will eventually, but I just feel like, I don't know, the pure comedy of the man jumping into the canal, getting out and getting arrested on the other side of the canal.
I mean, the thing is, ultimately, it might be a really dull story, but it's the way that it's constructed, that he jumps into a canal to avoid the arrest, but still gets arrested. Here's the punchline, on the other side. It's just wonderful.
If on the other side wasn't in there, if on the other side of the canal wasn't in the headline, nothing. I just think
jumps into a canal to avoid getting arrested, gets arrested. No, but it's on the other side of the canal. Whether the journalist thought that's the clincher, I mean, he must have done, or she.
We calling it?
We're calling it
canal.
W it.
All right. Next up.
1. So I can guess what the last one's going to be as well. Florida man accused of killing roommate asked Siri where to hide the body.
It's intriguing.
It really is intriguing because he's accused of killing, and presumably Siri keeps a record of what's being asked of her. I think it's a her, isn't it?
I think so.
So yeah, it's
Are we paying Steve by the word? Are we paying Steve by? We're not paying him by the word, so I can let him say this.
Yeah, let's go.
Florida man once arrested for fighting drag queen with tiki torch runs for mayor.
Well,
see now again, if we go on pure Florida manness of it all, I think that one.
We
haven't really contested too many. We haven't really fought.
I think this might be it though.
I think I like the surrealism of the drag queen tiki. Not that drag queens are surreal or anything like that, but just the extra element of just, it's added something in there. I mean, Florida man once arrested for fighting another Florida man with a tiki torch runs for mayor is very strong on its own. But if that person happened to be a drag queen, I suppose that when this story was in the headlines, if you kind of take away the once arrested, so Florida man runs for mayor. That's all that's happening in this story. In the past, he was fighting a drag queen with a teacher. That may not even have happened in Florida. Let's go with Siri.
Do you think? Because
I want to be. I'm a fair man.
well,
Let's go with Siri.
the thing is, I will be looking at both stories anyway. After this, I'll be looking at both stories. But the killing the roommate, I just want to know. How did they know that he looked at Siri? Does it keep a record? And in which case, is that what he said? Where's a good place to hide a body? It feels like the wrong thing to ask.
Here's the thing with all these Florida man stories we've been doing over the last few months is they all kind of blur into one. I remember reading a story where like literally the cops came and like this guy said, "Oh, I killed my neighbor and I buried the body," and they said it's almost along the lines of like, "Well, where did you bury the body?" And he's like, "Well, I asked Siri where to do it," and he almost just casually kind of admitted it. I don't know if that's the case or not, but
you could yeah. But the way that it's written, the way that it's written does appear at least to be it is revealed through the investigation, and that's the bit that I think is the most important section of this.
All right, okay, we are down to the
semi-finals.
Finals. Four left. Let me just sort Steve out
We need
here.
2 winners. Steve.
All right. Here we go. We don't have to really get into this. Let's just go. No introduction needed.
Let's go.
Number 2. It's the longie.
It's the commas. Here we go. Will it be the last time I read this out? Florida man robbed bank, stole a car, tries to swim away from police, cries when he gets caught in a current, and threatens rescuing officer. It still reads beautifully every single time.
Much happening there. All right. Versus who's going to go? 3. Oh, man. Florida man jumps into canal to avoid arrest, gets arrested on other side of canal. I think either of these could have won the show, honestly.
And what if it's the same guy?
That's true. Is there a current in a canal? I don't think it's the same guy.
Right.
Man, that canal one I've liked all along. But the commas is just growing on me.
But every time you read, you read the canal one, and then you go, just say that again because it sounds quite fun. With that one, it's like you've got to tell me more.
The canal one sounds like something from The Simpsons. It just sounds like a Simpsons headline, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It does. It feels like it's been written by Jon Stewart. It's that sort of. It's that lovely way of being very, very considerate about the words used. The top one is just, here's what happened. Here's the story.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know. I come back to the top one because there's a lot going on. So he robbed a bank. Okay, why? How did it go? Was it a normal bank robbery? Did he do it himself? He stole a car. Again, did he not bring a car? How did he not think to bring a car to a bank robbery?
It's got to be.
How did he get to the water? And why did he need to swim away from police? What happened
there?
Yeah,
did he get caught up in the water? Is that why he was caught? Because they outran him, or did he get cramped? Look, it's got to be number 2. It has to be. It's just unfortunate.
Because there's so much... Because he cried when he got caught in the current, but then an officer rescued him. So,
get off me!
That officer didn't get caught in the current. Yeah. I think that's got to take
And what happened to all his money that he robbed from the bank or gold or whatever he stole? Look, for me, it's
that one.
It's got to be.
That's the surprise. It's the dark horse, I tell you.
Yeah.
All right.
It's got stronger though, hasn't it? Every time you read it, it gets stronger.
It has. Which is kind of why we did this. We thought that we'd, in the past we just kind of almost dismissed some of these, but yeah, there you go. All right, next up.
Then the next 2 semi-finalists.
4. It's your favorite.
Well, this is the one I fought for. Florida man accused of killing roommate asked Siri where to hide the body. Okay, I can't remember what the other one was, so...
Can't be that memorable.
Well, I've just seen it.
Florida man slashes 2 people with ninja sword after fight about socks, police say.
Well, first thing to point out, That's the only headline there with police say, or deputies say, or cops. So it's good. It already has something that is the epitome of a Florida Man headline, which I've always enjoyed. I've always laughed. I've chuckled at whenever I've read police say.
And that's, and you know what? You mentioned the word chuckle. Like, I think when I was writing, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago when we were kind of trying to figure out what we're doing. It's like, which one gets the most chuckles? And the Siri one, to me, it's very strange. Is it funny?
Agreed.
Is it as funny? Is it as Florida Man absurd?
I'm completely behind the Ninja Sword on this one. I don't think it was necessarily up against... I don't think Killing Roommate was up against the right contender there. I think on its own, it's such a valuable headline. But I think there's just... If you're going to send something through to the final, send something that's clearly... That's everything that we imagined before we even started the podcast. We started saying that this is the sort of story you would hear. There's no alligators in this, by the way. That was the other thing. But that's the sort of Florida Man headline that we always thought we would be doing every week.
Okay, so thanks for listening. We will be back very shortly with the final. We've got these two suckers going against each other, and I don't even know. I don't know who's going to win. But what we're going to do is do a bit of research. We'll get these stories queued up, and then whichever one wins, we are going to go into some depth because we've assumed a lot.
Yes, that's right.
Stories.
Yeah.
And what's going to be interesting is how far off are we? We've made up all this crap about it. That is probably pretty boring and basic. But yeah, we'll see you at episode 3. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, thank you, Kev. I've really enjoyed it so far. Let's close it with a smasher.
Thanks, Steve, too.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Steve.
Bye, everybody.
All right, perfect. Bye-bye.